the 2023 first webinar series for the Portuguese Golden Visa presented by the Lakhani Group of companies. My name is Rahim Lakhani, and I have the pleasure today to have this open conversation with you to discuss, amongst various things, the Portuguese Golden Visa. So let's dive right in. And before we do that, let's actually do a quick temperature check, and then please put your cell phones and devices on mute so you can actually enjoy the next 45 minutes to an hour in terms of a session. And enjoy. Feel free to ask any questions that you may have during this time in terms of Golden Visa, in terms of Portugal, or anything that you think is relevant to the discussion and we may have not covered, or if you have new topics, feel free to suggest those as well. Before we jump in, let's have a quick overview of Portugal and what the environment here in Portugal looks like. So here it is.
Why do so many investors fall in love with Lisboa? Easy. There's no other city that combines this beautiful view with the beauty of these numbers. Lisboa is the closest European capital to the United States, South America and Africa, with 250 departures every day, and being the only capital in mainland Europe sharing the same time zone with the British capital, with more than 300 days of sunshine throughout the year. Lisboa is surrounded by more than 20 wonderful golf courses, only 4 train stations away from the beach, and just 1 hour drive from Nazaré, home of the biggest waves on the planet. Selected to be the 2020 European Green Capital, Lisboa transforms ecological concerns into reality, being the first European city to have a municipal fleet where 100% of light vehicles are electric, a huge recharging network with more than 540 stations, and 100% of the city lights running with LED technology. Innovation and adaptation are part of the mindset, with 90 colleges that produce 30,000 graduates a year, with 60% of them in business, tech or math degrees. No wonder Lisboa attracts global investment from all around the globe into our entrepreneurial community, an ecosystem dedicated to helping new businesses, where 2 new startups are created every day, with more than 100 co-working spaces spread all over Lisboa, and with a 90-kilometer bike lane that reaches all corners of the city. It's so easy to enjoy the view commuting to work using one of the 2,150 shared bikes and 5,500 soft mobility vehicles. How about this? Lisboa is well known as a city that embraces diversity and welcomes all kinds of races, ethnicities and religious beliefs. All that in a city with Michelin-starred restaurants, and this sunset included. So, how about investing in Lisboa? Lisboa, the beautiful side of business.
Awesome. So hopefully you were able to listen and enjoy the video that we had. It's a short 1-minute video that basically shows you what Portugal is all about, the various sceneries, how Portugal has developed over the last let's say 5 years. Really, the main development and investment have really come through thanks to this amazing scheme called the Golden Visa. So the last 5-7 years is really where their big push has been. And today I have the opportunity to discuss with you the 280,000 Golden Visa, 280,000 euro eligible properties that we have in Portugal. And so free to ask your questions, and then let's go dive right in. So I have the pleasure today to introduce to you something that we have been working as the group for quite a bit of time, and the project's name is called Palácio do Sol, and we are truly blessed to be in partnership with Wyndham Portugal. Wyndham, as a mother brand, and which is headquartered obviously in United States, and has over 9,200 properties. So we will be franchised in the operational stage under the brand of Wyndham Garden specifically, and the name of the project is Palacio de Sol. So for English speakers, it basically is the Palace of the Sal, and it is in an area called Alcázar do Sal. So let me actually show you where this project is and what we're talking all about. Okay. So just some quick introduction about myself. As I mentioned, my name is Rahim Lakhani, and I have the pleasure here to bring to you this particular investment of Golden Visa. And as a Lakhani group has been over the last 38 years, we've been in existence in several different countries, 4 countries to be specific: in India, in Portugal, in Canada, and in United States. And we have been very blessed to be now in the last 4 years to be in Portugal. Truly, it has been a blessing, and with the people that we have interacted over the last few years, with the environment that we are in, with the culture that Portugal has to offer. So we are truly blessed by being in this country. Although I'm a Canadian, my partners, who is my family, they are from the US. They've spent a lot of time out there. Of course, originally from India. My wife, who studied in London, and one of my sisters also is Australian, and her family is Australian. But we are now gathered here in Portugal, and I think it's quite astonishing for a lot of people to know why we are here and what is our story. So we have been very, very blessed here with the environment that Portugal has offered to us. And our journey started very similarly from the from on the other side. You may be looking at a golden visa, and your journey is just about to begin. And so our journey started 5 years ago. So there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of anxiousness, and this is why we are here to try to mitigate and give you some answers, regardless of you invest with us or not. Okay. So, being a European citizen, it is now in our journey, and this is basically this particular type of visa or residency permit is giving you and your family this route where you may be in a home country somewhere where you are stable today, but we don't know if that is going to be the future, a year from now, or 3 years from now, or 5 years from now. So for a lot of people, this is sort of a plan B. But for a lot of people now, this plan B, who invested, let's say, 5 years ago, has become plan A, and a lot of people have actually even moved permanently, because they had this planned for the last 3 to 5 years. Okay. So let's talk about, very simply, why Portugal. Okay. Many people have many reasons. I have my own reasons, of course. I come from Canada, where you have a very strong, political and social stability. At the same time, you have very good access to free and universal healthcare there, but you achieve that here. As a Canadian, there is a bit of harsher winters in those areas, versus in Portugal, the weather is absolutely gorgeous, absolutely fantastic. So this is one of the reasons that could be for you to look at Portugal more favorably. More importantly, though, for a lot of families is safety. We have several investors who we meet on a day-to-day basis where they say their home country is not as safe as it used to be. And they are always worried about their children, about their businesses, about themselves. So having that peace of mind is always something that is top of mind. And so this country, Portugal, does offer that amazing safety net. Of course, like any other metro city, it has the most modern infrastructure and access to a world-class education. But also, very importantly, it has a very favorable tax regime as well. And depending on the type of businesses that you do, or depending on the type of jobs that you do, there may be areas where you can actually have a very strategic tax benefit, like the NHR scheme as an example. So please feel free to talk to us about this, and we can help you kind of navigate those roadblocks that you may face in your own home country. So, not one reason for everyone. There's something, and it may not even be listed here, but there is always a reason for everyone. Now, of course, we also have to look at the cost of living, because as we all know, cost of living in many parts of the world, especially given the rising cost of inflation, it is a worrisome idea. So if your job allows you to work remotely, and you are considering those drop shipping or whatever it may be, you may actually be able to move out to Portugal and do your work from wherever your work is originally, right? So this is a total possibility. And while you are thinking of doing this, you could do a golden visa. So you have your residency and you don't have this kind of fixation, let's say. So if you want to be here in Portugal for 3 months, you want to be in another part of the world for another 3 months, and then back in your home country for 6 months, well, you can still be eligible for your residency under the golden visa scheme, and you will still be down the road after 5 years eligible for a passport. So this is one of the best things about golden visa, is that it allows you to take away that restriction that in, for example, the South Asian countries may have only a limited amount of visa period, versus the North American or Canada and US have 90 days out of 180 days. But if you want to stay longer, then you have this whole visa issue that could come up, right? So these are some of the important considerations if you want to truly look at the freedom and mobility, which is really a currency nowadays, if you believe me. So one more thing is, of course, top of mind for everyone who is looking for this kind of solution is, well, let's say life expectancy. Sad to say, but in some South Asian countries, the life expectancy is very much. I mean, if you hit 50, north of 50, you're really living a bonus life. Versus out in Portugal, you're really in that high 75 and 80 zone. I mean, not, of course, everyone has different things, but on average, this is something that is very visible in Portugal and throughout Europe, of course. So these are small indexes on how you as a person would be treated, in terms of happiness, in terms of the time you spend at work versus the quality time that you spend with the family, right? So these are small things that, in the larger scheme of things, makes total sense for you. Okay. Then now let's talk about golden visa. Okay. So what is a golden visa? So first of all, let me tell you, it's not a visa. Okay. So what is it? So it is actually a path to residency. Okay. It is not a path to citizenship directly, but it is firstly a path to citizenship, to residency. So once you make that investment, you are eligible for what you call as a TRC, which is a temporary residence card, which will allow you to do a visa-free travel in the Schengen zone, which is now 27 countries, by the way. Croatia just joined as of January 1st, 2023. You have the right to live, study, and work in Portugal, of course, as you are a resident. And the best part, well, of course, free healthcare, but the best part is that you do not have to be tied down to the country. You can still be that free bird. You can still go along and be in other parts of Schengen, other parts of Europe, other parts of other areas, and you can still continue to have your golden visa and your temporary residency card valid when it comes for the renewal time. So this is the best part. You don't have to be physically tied to the country if you don't want to be. Of course, if you want to be, you're totally welcome to to do. So this is a choice that the government puts in your hand versus in the government's hand, because you are making an investment of money versus the investment of time. Okay, so that is your flexibility that you have. So, and then after the 5 year eligible 5 year of maintaining your investment, you can either apply for the permanent residency card or a passport or European passport, and that will of course give you a visa free access to over 185 countries. That number fluctuates up and down, but you get the gist, that it is a very highly ranked passport according to several indexes. Of course, as a citizen, you have the voting rights, and then it opens up a new thing that you are now a European Union citizen, which means that you have the right to live, study, and work in any of the European Union countries. And that is actually a very big achievement, because you are looking at EU at almost close to 800 to 850 million people, versus let's say in the US, which is 300 million, or in Canada, which is 30 million. So in terms of the more modern infrastructure, in terms of the more access to opportunities, you have a much larger market and a multitude of different markets to actually go from, like Spain, like Belgium, like Germany. So you really have opened up an opportunity box for your future and for your children's future. Okay, so this is now one of the best parts is who actually is eligible in the same investment. So of course you've got the primary applicant who makes the application of the golden visa, but you also have your spouse, of course, same sex is eligible, and you have the minor children who are under the age of 25. Now in some cases, you also have the adult children if they are dependent and single, parents and parents-in-law. So this is actually a very, very large family definition. So what I would suggest, from a perspective of legal opinion, contact us. We have several lawyers here who can give you exactly the requirement based on your family structure. So speak to them, understand, and then make a conscious decision. Okay. Now, let's talk about the physical presence requirement very quickly. So this is actually the least place when it compares to all the other, when it comes to the final receiving of the passport. So there are golden visas all throughout Europe. Okay, let's be honest. You can Google golden visa Spain, golden visa Greece, and you will find a latitude of golden visas. However, what is very important is that when it comes to the passport, you always are restricted in other countries where you have to be physically present for X number of years, even if you have had the temporary residency card for that 5 year period. Okay, so after the TRC, you can apply for a permanent residency, but to be eligible for a passport, you have to stay physically in those countries for X amount of time, as displayed on the screen. So this is a big no-no. I mean, of course, we know for Canada, you can have your permanent residency card, but after that you have to be physically present for the next 3 out of 5 years. Okay, and depending on which program you may be, you may have to be relocated to other provinces also, which may or may not be to your liking. So this is actually the least physically straining place that you can be. And so what I'm driving the point home is that for a lot of businessmen and women, you may not be able to actually physically leave your particular home country. And this is exactly the reason why Portugal makes the most sense versus other countries if you're looking for the passport. Okay, after the 5 year period. So this is very, very important for you to know. Now, some statistics directly from the CEF, which is the Serviço de Estrangeiros e Fronteiras, which is basically the immigration authority in Portugal. These are the statistics directly from their website. And what is something that is very interesting to note is that over the last 10 years, the main nationalities have been China, Brazil, Turkey. But recently, there has been a huge shift. Now you have a lot of applications coming in from US, UK, and India, especially. So this is very interesting because we have a lot of investment coming in from these three countries versus you think about the passport strength of especially US and UK, very, very strong. And even though they are still investing out in Portugal, why? Very simply, all the other reasons that I mentioned above, which is, safety, peace of mind, quality of life, Brexit. So these are some of the big reasons why investing in a European country like Portugal makes a lot of sense. Of course, for India, we all understand that this is a country that, the access to travel freedom is not there. And this is something that currently, Indian passport holders are restricted. So now when you have businesses in Europe, you always have to go for a visa, visa to France, visa to, and we all know VFS and the appointments and the delays that are associated with that. So what is the alternate? This is your alternate where you can get a temporary residency card, have visa-free access to the Schengen zone, and after 5 years, 185 countries. So this is why the Indian passport, Indian origin people are also interested. Okay. Let me welcome you to our project now, which is basically your path to the passport, your path to the residency program. And so here I welcome you, Palacio do Sol. Okay, Palacio do Sol is basically, like I mentioned earlier, a project in an area called Alcázar do Sol, and this is the aerial view of that particular project. And you can see here the building as well as the parking and the areas in the back as well. Okay, so Alcázar do Sol, beautiful town, absolutely gorgeous, absolutely phenomenal. It's like a little bit of a jewel in the neck of Portugal. Okay, so this is how I describe it. And this picture actually is taken from the project site, so you can see how gorgeous the whole area is and how gorgeous your sunrise and sunsets would be when you are a tourist in this hotel. So from a distance standpoint, it is only 55 minutes drive from Lisbon. So we are not talking about deeper interior regions like Beja or closer to the border of Spain or something in the north, or Douro or even Algarve. Okay, we are talking only 55 minutes, and this is the first region that qualifies essentially. When you drive out south, the one of the first regions for the 280,000 golden visa. So this is eligible for the low cost investment. Okay, now you for this particular project, this is very important to note that you have a land route, but also a sea route. So you can actually take a ferry from Setúbal, and you can go, watching the dolphin tours and watching the whale watching tours down all the way from Comporta, from Costa de Galé, all the way into Alcázar do Sol. So you can have actually a very beautiful and scenic route to the hotel as well as a tourist. Okay, and here I'm projecting to you exactly what the downtown core looks like. So this project is perfectly situated in the heart of downtown, again to impress upon you, not in the interior regions of Portugal, but in very much a hustle and bustle area, which always is vibrant with people, vibrant with restaurants, vibrant with people who have historic interests, vibrant with families, with conferences, with companies, and whatnot. So this is basically a project that is demanding success. Okay. Now, some statistics, I won't spend too much time here, but one thing that I want to note, this particular project, at least at the current time, is 70 to 80% domestic tourism and 20 to 30% international tourism. So I will never say, okay, you go on Google and this will be the topmost area to visit in Portugal. That is not true. This is an interior part, this is a growing area, a development area, but it has all the elements and factors to be one of the topmost areas to be in terms of tourism. Okay, but it is not yet, but it is a very growth potential place. The perfect thing is for you as an investor, the construction already is at a 70% constructed. So this is a perfect time for you to be a part of this project where the construction is already at a 70% complete. And we hope to deliver with our the construction ongoing. We hope to deliver by Q2 of 2024. You are seeing a picture that is actually the construction of this particular project. As opposed to other projects where you are only seeing land, or only seeing drawings, or only seeing, oh, this will be in the future and blah blah blah. None of that. You are seeing a building that is a new building under the ARU, which is the area of rehabilitation. It is under that area. That is why it's qualified for the Golden Visa, and that is and it's a new building under the rehabilitation program. Okay. So these are some things that you have. That is for the hotel, and you can always go to the website on the bottom, wyndhamportugal.com, sign up from the bottom as a first time user, and you will get access to all information in a moment's notice. We don't need to send you anything, or all the Q&A, all the architecture, all the contracts and documents, everything is out there. And I'll do a quick demo of the website as well in the end of the session. So here are some pictures. You can see rooftop bar, you can see conference center, you can see the layout of the individual rooms. You can see a big yard in the back for several for the exterior pool, for the exterior garden. You can see the patio size here, extremely vibrant. You can see the garden on the rooftop as well. There is an interior garden, and hence Wyndham Garden brand that suits the most. You have a private area with 15 suites and a private space for a bar and your own private events. So very, very uniquely designed hotel that suits your needs for private and both public gatherings as well. Okay, so here we drive the point home. Palacio del Sol, this is a total construction of 4,891 square meters. And you have the opportunity today to be one of the co-owners of this hotel. Okay. Now, here is the final picture of what the deal is to be presented. We have 110 investors in total that we will bring together in this particular project. It's a 75 room, 60 rooms, and 15 executive suites in this total project. 280,000 is the minimum investment that you must do according to the Golden Visa law. We will provide a 30,000 euro upfront yield as a return of your investment for 6 years. Okay, so no 2%, 3%, 4% per year, but everything upfront. We also pay the IMT, we pay the VAT, we pay the IMI. So basically all the taxes for your next 6 years. On top of that, we are providing a 7-day free stay with your family, okay, in any of our TLG owned hotels. Okay, so we have 2 projects at the current moment, and we have 3 more that are launching in the next years. So you can stay every year in a different property with your family. For the next 7 days, after the 7 days, we provide a 50% discount on the tariff rate. Okay, so you want to spend 14 days together, at a stretch, and you be eligible for the 14-day in the 2-year period of your Golden Visa. You can do that 50% discount on the tariff. Okay, so the deal cannot be, more than this. We also have a firm that is called IIS, and the lawyers in the firm will provide you with all the services, all the legal services that will assist you in making the application towards the Golden Visa. Okay, so this is something that is an added bonus as well. Okay, now let's look at the reception. Very much brand new, top of line, no compromise on the materials. Everything really top notch. You can see the spa designed by some of the well-known architects and engineers here in Portugal. You can see the room qualities here. And of course, the presentation is completely available on our website, so you can totally see that. You can see the conference facilities. You can see the bar, very modern, very high end, very much, to the liking of that 4-star, giving you that vibrancy of the quality project. You will see the gym currently under construction, of course, and top of line equipment that is chosen. And then we drive down the point home to the appraisal of the property. As you noticed, the total investment was 30 million, and the property appraisal that we have received, that is from an income approach on the 6th year of operations, and the residual value is at 31.45 million. This is basically to drive the point home that in the 6th year, when you are ready to do your buyback, we have the funds available to basically do, after the 6 years, the guaranteed buyback, because our project will be valued at that mark. Now, some of you may ask, oh, but how can I be sure and everything? Well, I will tell you, no one can be 100% sure about anything, because let's be honest about that. What happened in COVID? Hotels were shut down. Things were not to the likings of the hospitality owners. The returns were promised but not given. However, what we are doing is a bit different. We're doing an upfront yield. We do not do any yield throughout the 6 years. We have the income approach, where we have all of the income and the EBITDA cumulatively parked, so that when your buyback is scheduled, this is basically the source of your buyback. And at the end of that 6th year, we are basically purchasing our hotel unit back, and you are getting the 280,000 investment that you originally invested. Okay, so this is actually a very good and beneficial. Now, when you compare the 280 category of our hotel project, not another hotel project, because other hotel projects have various different nuances. If you compare our hotel project of 280 to an apartment, let's say, you will be at least by 50 to 70,000 euros. You will be overpaying in taxes and furniture and renovation, in IMI, in property management. So expect to pay that extra. Whereas in this project, it is all minus. Okay, so this is the basis of our investment. And let's talk about the Wyndham brand. Wyndham brand is a mother brand that we have basically been, we are very happy to shake hands with the mega brand Wyndham, and the Garden specifically is a brand that is more new, let's say, to Europe, but it is a very, very strong brand, and you can Google and find out all the different Wyndham brands that you have. Wyndham Garden brand specifically. Of course, we all know about Ramada, so it's a very, very well-known brand of Wyndham called Ramada. And we are also working with the other Wyndham, which is the Wyndham Residences, in another one of our project as well. And we hope to launch other Wyndham brands in Portugal slowly as well as we move forward. Okay. So this is the brand. The strength of the brand is quite strong, as you can see. In Europe itself, they've got about north of 50,000 rooms. In total, like I mentioned earlier, 9,200 hotels listed on the stock exchanges, and a very, very profitable company. As you can see, they have a strong free cash flow of 97 million. They have a very, very strong EBITDA of 191 million. And these are the numbers as of, I believe, September of last year. So a very strong brand. One thing that is to be noted is that they have the 20% is under new construction. Okay. 80% is under new construction and 20% is under conversions. So this is actually a really good thing to learn from this particular slide. These are some pictures, stock images from a Wyndham Grand, and how the final product could basically look like. Different, but these are some examples, okay, of the brand quality. Okay, and you can see the mattress quality, you can see the finishings of the hotel, you can see the more modern, look and feel. You will see, how the swimming pool, which is very similar to our deck. So the overview of to the lake, very, very similar to our project. So you can see that. Coming down to our track record, so we have several projects also in. So this is not our first project in Portugal. Over the last 5 years, we have done several projects already. This actually, the Palacio do Sal is our 6th project in Portugal now, amongst other projects in other countries. And So this is one of the projects that we finished in during COVID as well. We have another project in the Saldana area. We have another project in the Carcavelos area. We have another project now in the Lorish area. So we have done several projects, and some of them are already operational, some of them are under construction. This is a Wyndham Residences project, also eligible for Golden Visa. 80% of the villas are currently sold, still 20% remaining. So this is under the 500,000 category. So you are totally welcome to come and see this particular project if you are looking for a freehold property versus a co-ownership model, which is the Palacio Hotel. It really depend on what you want. If you want a guaranteed return of 3 to 6%, if you want a freehold, like a property only and solely in your name, go for the villa. If you want basically a low cost investment to get your immigration out, go for the hotel. So we have both of these projects hand in hand, and something that we have a solution, one for everyone. Okay. And then finally, let me drive the point home. We will, as a developer, assist you in entirety of your Golden Visa process. Okay, we have teams here basically who will assist you with that. We will make the introductions. You make your decision to invest. You appoint your legal counsel, opening of the bank account. You make that investment. All the documentation is taken care of by independent lawyers that represents your interest. And now, even between 3 and 6 months, these are timelines not dedicated by me, but from experience and what now we are seeing as results. So between 3 and 6 months, you have the biometrics, and between another 3 and 6 months, you have your residency card. So be prepared for the full year, but it could be sooner as well. And the expert team of lawyers is always dedicated to bringing your interest ahead, and making sure you have your appointments, your follow-ups, and everything else. Okay, so this is basically in a nutshell the project. And like I always say, like I've said before, this is absolutely the best backup plan for your generations. And so here I have for you a very, very special project, near and dear to our heart. We have several investors already in the pipeline, several investors already being onboarded. So we totally welcome you to send us a message, go on to our website, windportugal.com, sign up and see the project for yourself. Okay, that's about it. A few questions. One of the question here I have here is who is eligible for the Golden Visa? So like I mentioned earlier, this is a complete black and white process. Okay, so this is not you invest and we will about it. This is completely black and white. So you make an investment, you fulfill the requirements, and you have your residency card. Right now with some delay, but that's okay. As long as you achieve that. Okay, so there is no one that is not eligible for Golden Visa. Anyone who can meet the basic requirements lined up by SEF is eligible for Golden Visa. Okay. The process of obtaining Portuguese Golden Visa through real estate investment. I think I did. I hope it was clear to you. If you have any questions, feel free to send a WhatsApp to that number in front of your screen, or an email, and more than happy to answer even maps and reservations and contracts and whatnot. Okay, so more than happy to. We have one question from that submitted to our team on Facebook, and they say, how can investors go about finding suitable properties for the Golden Visa program? Okay, so what I would recommend, when you go on our site, you must go to the tab that is basically the eligibility. There is a Golden Visa eligibility column. Okay, and when you go on the Golden Visa eligibility page, you will see why this property is eligible for the Golden Visa. All the licenses are there, all the documentation is there, all the tax certificates are there. So you have enough evidence for you and your lawyer, if you want to hire one on your own, to see why this is eligible for the Golden Visa program, And then we have, I believe those are all the questions. If you have any other questions, feel free to send a message on the WhatsApp number, or contact us, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, no Tinder, anywhere else. You can come and message us. You're totally welcome to come to our office in Benfica and meet with us, have a chat with the legal team, have a chat with our processing team, and we're more than happy to answer any of your questions. That's it from me. Thank you very much. Again, signing off. This is Rahim Lakhani, President and CEO of the Lakhani Group. Thank you very much for your time. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.